Hey everybody, and welcome to Lindsay's Little Library. So we have the house to myself for I don't even know how long. So I'm going to quickly come on here and do my May wrap up really quick. Okay, so May was a decent month for me. I read 5 books. I was shooting for like 6 or 7. It is what it is. I didn't quite finish my review books that I wanted to. I didn't get to Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. Sorry, Krista. I really wanted to join into the book club. It just, I don't know, May got away from me. I was on a really good roll the first probably half of the month, and then my kids' summer sports and stuff started and life got a little crazy. So I'm pretty happy with what I did get read. The first book that I finished in May, guys, I loved this book. Seriously, you gotta read this. I finished Neighbourly by Ellie Monago. I think I got this as an Amazon Prime first reads or first pick or something like that. But this centers a couple who just recently moved into their neighborhood. What are their names? I never remember names, guys. This is so bad. Kat and Doug. So they just moved into the neighborhood to move into in San Francisco. Everybody wants to be in here. It costs more to get in there because of the high demand. Best schools, wonderful, wonderful place. And so they're they just had a baby. They're we're gonna set this girl's life up for good, right? And then they start meeting the neighbors. And then things get kind of crazy. And that's about all I can tell you. So it's really good. It was a really quick read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminded me of a Desperate Housewives-ish vibe to it. So definitely pick that up. Next book I got to in the month of May was part of the Booklist Thursdays try a chapter tag that we did. Booklist Thursday is something that I do with my friend Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and Lisa from Books and Smiles. And for this specific Thursday, we both picked 2 books for the other to read. So Lisa picked 2 books and Sarah picked 2 books for me to kind of pick from. So we read a chapter from each of those, and this is the book that I picked out of those. I read On the Island by Tracy Garbus Graves. Loved this book. Fabulous. I can't believe this sat on my bookshelf for as long as it did. This centers around Anna. She's a 30-year-old English teacher, and she just needs an adventure. She's kind of stuck in this rut. Not the greatest. I don't know if he's fiance or boyfriend or whatever. Just kind of wants to get away. So she takes a job that involves her tutoring a 16-year-old boy named TJ who's in remission from having cancer, and she's going to tutor him on his family's private island for the entire summer. So she's like, heck yeah, I'm totally gonna do this and have myself a little adventure. And they board a private plane to go to the summer home where TJ's family already is. She's just gonna travel with him there, and the plane goes down and they're stuck on a deserted island by themselves. Shark-infested waters, no food. What are they gonna do? Yeah, it's crazy. And then you have this whole survival aspect of it, and then you have this other side of TJ's turning into a man. They're not there for a matter of days or weeks. They're there for a while, and what's gonna happen with that relationship? So really fabulous book. Loved that one. Next book I listened to this month, I don't know why my bookmark's still in there, is Homefront by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna, I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love her books, and one of my kind of goals was to read some of her older books out there, and this was on my shelf, so I actually listened to the audiobook version of this. This follows a couple. It follows a couple. So this follows a couple, Michael and Jolene is part of the National Guard, and they have a pretty good marriage. They have 2 daughters. Jolene definitely runs that household. Michael's an attorney, and he's busy, and she just takes care of being a mom and does this National Guard thing. Well, she gets called up to go to Iraq to fight, and now Michael's the single stay-at-home dad. Not single, but stay-at-home dad has taken over all of Jolene's responsibilities, and he's not a huge fan of A, Jolene being part of the National Guard, and B, the war itself. So it's crazy. I can't say much more. There's definitely more. Kristen Hanna, she's gonna throw in some more loops for you to jump through, but it's a fabulous book. It really makes me appreciate what I have and what people go and fight for, but appreciate military families. It's beautiful. It was a fabulous book. I loved it. I highly recommend. The audiobook version was really good. I really liked the narrator. I'm fairly picky on my narrators, I'm not gonna lie, but she was really great. I really should look up who it was. I'll try to remember to do that, but it was good. Definitely good. All right, next up I finished He Said, She Said by Erin Kelly. This I read for the Deadly Divas book club, and then unfortunately couldn't attend the live show, but I still read it. This is where I hit my funk though, because I started this book thinking, because I had just finished 3 and this was probably middle of the month or so, thinking that it's a psychological thriller, I should be able to get into it pretty quick, or just it should grasp my attention right away, and it didn't. So I was finding myself doing other things and I just wasn't quite getting as much reading in, so I was about to put it down until I heard, did Lisa talk about it or somebody mentioned it and kind of said, yeah, it's a little slow burn at the beginning, but stick with it, and oh, so glad I did. So glad I did it. So this follows, and why it's a little strange and was a little slow at first is it's centered around the eclipse and the number of eclipses that happen over a period of time. Kit and Laura, they are a couple that specifically travel to see the eclipse every time it happens. They are in Cornwall to witness the eclipse that way. It's the summer of '99, and they come across something bad happening. It says on the back, I don't want to give anything away, so I'm trying to read the back. Laura interrupts a man and a woman. She knows that she saw something terrible. The man denies it. It's her word against his. The victim seems grateful. A month later, the victim shows up at her doorstep. And kind of takes a little twist from there. So definitely once things got rolling, I was totally into it. I finished it within a matter of days. But it was a slow burn at first for me, so I'm not sure how I would rate this. I still have to ponder that. Then I finished I Was Anastasia by Ariel Lawhon. This was for the Barnes & Noble book club that I'm a part of where I live. It was kind of, we all attended the nationwide Barnes & Noble book club, and then we decided to meet the month later and read this. So this follows the lives of Anastasia Romanoff, who is one of the Russian princesses, and the life of Anna Anderson. So the whole book, oh, Ariel, seriously, she freaking blew this out of the park. This is 5 stars all around. So you all know my love for Ariel Lawhon for writing The Wife, the Maid, and the Mistress. Like, I don't know how many times I've talked about that on this channel, but that book is phenomenal, and this one trumps it by far. So I'm gonna warn you, it's a little confusing because of how the timeline is. There are times where you're in a chapter and it will start out and tell you the dates right away. And sometimes there's 1 date and other times there's like 3 dates. So there would be a chapter that would be like 1954, 1946, and 1943. Well, you're going to start with a little snippet that happened in 1954, and then you're going to go to a snippet that happened in 1946 that might explain why 1954 happened. So you just give it time. It took me a little bit to get used to that style of writing, but I'm so happy she did that. You're supposed to be a little confused. That's okay. But the whole time, basically, you're centered around the question of, is Anna Anderson Anastasia Romanoff? Did Anastasia survive? Her family was murdered, and go from there. That's all I'm going to say. Historical fiction all the way. Fabulous, fabulous story. Read the author's note at the end. It's awesome. It's awesome. This is probably up there as one of my favorites of the year. Easily. But look at that cover. It's so pretty. It's awesome. So I finished that one, and then I'm in the middle of Before We Met by Lucy Whitehouse. This is the winner, guys, of the, was it a few Thursdays ago, the Pick What I Read Next book list Thursday that I did. It was close, though, between this one, Change of Heart, and Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. Those definitely got the most votes, but this one by, like, probably a good... These two were super close, but this won by I have my tally. I could tell you. So yeah, that got 26 votes, and then Hotel and Heart, one had 15 and one had 17. So really close, but I'm in the midst of this. I'm reading it. I'm really liking it. Like I said, my life is just crazy busy. We have like some sort of sports almost every day. So I'm exhausted lately. So I go to read at night and I get like 2 pages in and I'm dead to the world. So I should have it finished pretty quick. It's a short book. I am really liking it. This is blurbed as being the British version of Gone Girl. I'm definitely invested in this mystery. I have no clue what the heck her husband's doing. So it follows a woman named Hannah. They just got married, has a really great life, but her husband fails to return from a business trip, and some things just are not making sense. So it's awesome. It's really good. But that's what I read in May. Not too bad, not too shabby. I'll take it. I'm hoping next month I get like 2 audiobooks in there instead of just the one I did this month. Oh, I did listen to The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. Is that who wrote it? I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but The Kind Worth Killing, I was in the midst of that audiobook. I was probably about 2/3 of the way through it, and it expired on me. So I'm on the wait list to finish it off, but man alive, that book is good. Oh, it centers around this concept of like maybe there are some people in this world that just should be killed off, and that should be okay. It's really, really good. Really good. There's some, I'm thinking some big twists coming. I won't spoil anything, but it's awesome. So yeah, that's about it. That's May. We'll take it. June is, we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping to get a TBR video up soon. I know we're already really kind of into June, but we'll give it a whirl. So anyways, if you have read any of these books and want to chat about them, especially this one because there's so much to talk about, leave a comment below. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.